Okay, how's everybody doing today? This is Nelson with Follow Me Ministries. I hope everybody's having a great New Year's. Today's the first day of 2024. So everybody have an amazing year. Have a legendary year. Do everything do your goals, everything, but follow God. Do it. Put God first. Put Jesus Christ first. The Holy Spirit. Put him first. That's what He's the most important thing. He's our Father. He's always there. Regardless of anybody, anything. God should be number one. The Father should be number one. Because he gives us everything. He gave us life. He gave us everything. He gave us, he gives us cars. He gives us families, homes. He gives us everything. Life. People don't appreciate that. What he does for us, but he gives us everything. People really need to really appreciate what God does. He gives. If you're awake today, like I'm awake today, boom. I'm alive. We're alive. We have breath. He put breath in our lives. He blessed our lives. Like children are blessings. If you have a child, you got a blessing. You got blessings. So they're from God. Children are from God, man. If it wasn't for God, you wouldn't have a children. You wouldn't have nothing. Like I said. Even some people that have nothing, that's their season to have nothing, but you gotta wait. Everything's God's timing. Everything's God's timing. So I wanted to say Happy New Year's to my subscribers. Thank you. Thank you for everything. Subscribing to my channel, to following this channel. I like, to appreciate, say appreciation for everybody that has viewed my videos, make comments, likes, sharing it. I want you guys to have a great year. I want everybody to give me some testimonies. Let me know where you're at. Like I said, I'm from Florida. My heritage is I'm Puerto Rico. I'm Puerto Rican. Okay, I'm a full-blooded Puerto Rican. My family is from San Juan and Bayamon, Puerto Rico. So I know English and Spanish. So I know in Puerto Rico. I've been there. A beautiful country, beautiful little island. That's the a beautiful, I love that island, a lovely island, lovely people. I love where I'm from, my culture, and I know everything about my people, no doubt about that, heritage, everything, so, everybody just needs to really focus on doing everything they can for their neighbor, fellow mankind. Be somebody positive in this world. That's really the number one thing. You gotta be somebody who does, like I said, does for God. God loves. He wants to love our neighbor. Love our neighbor. That's a commandment. That's what and everybody says all this and that about God or whatever. They he's a God of love. Okay, so he's a God of love for a reason. That's his name. That's one of his names, God of love. He told us to love our neighbors and love God. That's a commandment. Those are also commandments as well. I spoke about that. I spoke about the commandments yesterday, the 10 commandments, and also those 2 commandments: love your neighbors yourself and love God. Like with everything too, with all your heart. So he's the God of love, man. He really is. He's amazing. That's why John 3:16, for God loved the world so much that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever should believes in him should not perish but have everlasting life. So he loved the world. So he's a God of love. He's a lot of beautiful verses in in the Bible about love. Right here in His Word about love. Corinthians is about love. But this video is about telling everybody Happy New Year's, okay, and also my subscribers and everybody watches my videos. I'm enjoying my New Year's here today. I'm enjoying where I'm at, and like I said, I'm telling you about myself. I'm Puerto Rican, full-blooded Puerto Rican, and that is something that I love. I love that. I love where my people are from, and also I wanted to talk about like God created this world through Hebrew. Okay, He created the world through Hebrew. This right here, His Word, boom, it's in Hebrew. The original language of this is Hebrew. Okay, not we converted it to our language, English or whatever. But God created the world, everything. He created everything, us, in Hebrew. So that's when you see that He created the world, He used His Word. He used this right here, the Word, and it's in Hebrew. And they even have Hebrew in my island. And it's still Hebrew is still around here. People still speak Hebrew. I know people that there's Hebrew churches and everything. Hebrew, like I said, there's Hebrew in my island. In Puerto Rico, there's Hebrew right there, right on my island. And there in the you go to the mountain, like in the like little areas in the mountains or whatever, there's Hebrew there. And people, it's still around, and that's where we get a lot of our words right now. Is Hebrew. It's Hebrew. Like I can say some Puerto Rican words, and like even Arawak. That's a Hebrew word. That's an Indian name, but it's a Hebrew word. Arawak. That's Hebrew. In other words we use. I'm half. I'm a little bit of Indian too. So I got that Indian spirit in me. So I got Indian in me. I got African in me, and I got Spanish in me. So I got all these things, and that's what makes me me. That's me. I'm not ashamed of it, but like I said, my family's from Puerto Rico. Full-blooded Puerto Rican. That's right. And I love my people. I love, I just, I'm a happy-go-lucky kind of guy, really. I don't really let too much bother me unless I really, I gotta do what you gotta do what you gotta do sometimes, because sometimes you're put in situations where you gotta protect people or do what you gotta do. That's life. Yeah, but life can be, okay. So actually, I'm gonna get back to this word here. Okay, I'm gonna get back to the word here. All right. So we're in 1 Samuel 17. 1 Samuel 17. So Samuel was a prophet, and that's where, like I said, all the prophets in here. David was a prophet, so Moses was a prophet. All these people that wrote in the Bible are prophets. So even Solomon was a prophet. He was David's son. So he was the richest man on earth and the wisest man on earth. David, King David, David's son. So I also been talking about Jesus, and Jesus was part of that lineage. He was part of the lineage of David, and also his brother is James. James, who wrote some of the Bible as well, is Jesus' brother, James. I don't know if anybody knew that, but I knew that. Yeah, check it out. That's his brother. One of the writers in this Bible Well, just like David is part of Jesus' lineage, Solomon too, like I said. But David was a great king. I'm going to get back to that, but David was a great king. Well, probably one of the best. He was probably one of the best kings ever in Israel. I don't know. Yeah, he was one of the best kings ever in Israel. He had a great heart. He wasn't perfect, like like none of us. But he had a great heart. He was a man after God's own heart. So, but David, he faced a lot of people. Like I was actually saying. So I'll get back to this. Okay, David. I want everybody to go right here to Samuel. 1 Samuel, I think it's 17. Okay, yeah. 1 Samuel 17. All right. So I was speaking about David and Goliath. Okay, and Goliath, I don't know if anybody knows that he was a giant. Okay, he was. I don't even know how tall he was, but he was. He was a giant. So giants. They're Nephilim. I want to get to that point where giants are Nephilim, and it's gonna. I'm probably gonna make a video of that too. But Nephilim are half. They get their height from being half human and half falling angels. So that's that's a crazy thing. But I think you can go into the Bible and it all actually talks about that word Nephilim. So that's where I get my information from. I know. So it's that's why God. No, he don't like that either. Because that falling angels and humans making babies. So that God, that was an evil thing. He don't like that. He didn't like that. So that's why he destroyed the earth. That's part of the reason why he destroyed the earth. But I'm gonna get into that too. Little by little, step by step. We're gonna take care of everything. That's real. So, but today, it's gonna be about David and Goliath. And like I said, Nephilim, Goliath was a Nephilim, so half human and half falling angel. So and that's in the Bible. That's in the Bible right here. God's word, and you can believe in that. That's real. You can believe in God's word. It's the truth. It'll always be the truth. So okay, so I'm gonna get back to this right here. So we're gonna get so it's first Samuel 17. Okay, and if you follow along, it says Goliath challenges the Israelites. Okay, so the Philistines now mustered their army for battle and camped between Sukkah and Judah and Ezekah at Ephes Damnah. Saul countered by gathering his Israelite troops near the valley of Elah. So the Philistines and Israelites faced each other on opposite hills, with the valley between them. Then Goliath, a Philistine champion from Gath, came out of the Philistine ranks to face the forces of Israel. He was over 9 feet tall. So he was 9 feet tall. So he didn't even says how tall he was. I didn't think it would, but yeah, he was over 9 feet tall. A giant, a Nephilim, half human and half fallen angel. I'm probably gonna get into that. Probably the next video. I'm probably gonna talk about Nephilim. So like I was saying. So he was 9 feet tall. He was over 9 feet tall. Where was I here? I'm trying to find my spot here. Okay, yeah, he was 9 feet tall. Okay, and so we're on verses 5. Okay, he wore a bronze helmet, and his bronze coat of mail weighed 125 pounds. He also wore bronze leg armor. And he carried he carried a bronze javelin on his shoulder. The shaft of his spear was as heavy and thick as a weaver's beam, tipped with an iron spearhead that weighed 15 pounds. His armor walked ahead of him, carrying a shield. Goliath stood and shouted a taunt across to the Israelites. Why are you all coming? Why are you all coming out to fight? He called. I am the Philistine champion, but you are only the servants of Saul. Choose one man to come down here and fight me. If he kills me, then we will be your slaves. But if I kill him, you will be our slaves. I defy the armies of Israel today. Send me a man who will fight me. When Saul and the Israelites heard this, they were terrified and deeply shaken. Jesse sends David to Saul's camp, and that's verse 12. Now David was the son of a man named Jesse, an Ephrathite from Bethlehem in the land of Judah. Okay, so Jesse was an old man at that time. He had eight sons. Jesse's three oldest sons, Eliab, Abinadab, and Shemiah, had already joined Saul's army to fight the Philistines. In verse 14, David was the youngest son. David's three oldest brothers stayed with Saul's army, but David went back and forth so he could help his father with the sheep at Bethlehem for 40 days every morning and evening. So 40 is a very that's a godly date, a godly number, 40. Like just 40 like 40 nights or 40 days and nights for like the rain that came and everything, and 40 days that they were in the desert. 40. So 40 has something to do definitely with God. That's when you see that, God's involved in that. That's one of his numbers. Okay. So let me get back here. Let's see. Okay. So we're at verse 16. For 40 days, every morning and evening, the Philistine champion strutted in front of the Israelite army. One day, Jesse said to David, take this basket of roasted grain and these 10 loaves of bread and carry them quickly to your brothers and give them these 10 cuts of cheese to their captain. See how your brothers are getting along and bring back a report on how they are doing. David's brothers were with Saul and the Israelite army at the valley of Elah, fighting against the Philistines. So David left the sheep with another shepherd and set out early the next morning with the gifts, as Jesse had directed him. He arrived at the camp just as the Israelite army was leaving from the battlefield with shouts and battle cries. Soon the Israelite and Philistine forces stood facing each other army against army. Okay. David left his things with the keeper of supplies and hurried out to the ranks to greet his brothers. As he was talking with them, Goliath, the Philistine champion from Gath, came out from the Philistine ranks. Then David heard him shout his usual taunt of the army of Israel. As soon as the Israelite army saw him, they began to run away in fright. Okay, so as soon as the Israel army saw the giant, they ran away in fright. Okay. Have you seen the giant? The men asked. He comes out each day to defy Israel. The king has offered a huge reward. Okay, the king has offered a huge reward. Okay, to anyone who kills him. He will give the man one of his daughters for a wife, and the man's entire family will be exempted from paying taxes. So David asked the soldiers standing nearby, what will a man get for killing the Philistine and ending the defiance of Israel? Who is this pagan Philistine anyway, that he is allowed to defy the armies of the living God? Right, really. When you got involved, so see, it don't matter. It don't matter if you got like a lot of armies. Like I was talking about that yesterday. Even if an army comes against you, you still have God. God is more. he. I just read something that it don't matter if they got people that have like nuclear bombs. They can have all these nuclear bombs, whatever. No, if God say you're gonna survive that and you're protected, believe me, you're protected. Nothing's gonna hurt you. You're gonna survive. You're gonna be smiling. You're gonna be chilling. When people say that there's a fast or all these things, like people, what are they saying? Where there's no food, hunger, and there's food, there's no food. The righteous people, and it says in the word, you're gonna be fed. You're gonna be fed, and you're not gonna worry. You're not gonna worry about any of that. You're gonna be fed, clothed. You're gonna be all that. Just like speaking of clothing, the Israelites, when they went through the 40 years, okay, their clothing never wore out in 40 years. That's it. That's in here. That's in the verses. That's the power of God. Really, their clothing never wore out. Their clothing, shoes never wore out. In 40 years, they were there. That's God. So people worry about everything, though. They worry about food. They worry about, clothing, everything. And you're not supposed to. That's from the devil. Worrying and all these things. Because God tells you not to worry. That's in the Bible. That's in the Word. Not to worry. So, you ain't supposed to worry about anything. People, it don't matter. Armies, it don't, nothing. Keep God first. Keep the Father first. And he, no matter what, he'll bring you through it. That's real. So, okay, let me see where I was coming back in here. So, oh yeah, well, they were talking about the army, okay? Deny the living army of God. So, trying to find my place here. I'm sorry. Give me a minute. Okay, yeah, there you go. Okay, verse 36. Okay, so I have done this to both. Okay, let me see. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna start with 32, verse 32. David kills Goliath. Okay, don't worry about the Philistine. David told Saul, I'll go fight him. Don't be ridiculous. Saul replied, there's no way you could fight this Philistine. Okay, and possibly win. You're only a boy, and he's been a man of war since his youth. But David persisted. I have been a king, or I have been taking care of my father's sheep and goats. He said, when a lion or a bear comes to steal a lamb from the flock, I go after it with a club and rescue the lamb from its mouth. If the animal turns on me, I catch it by the jaw and club it to death. I have done this to both lions and bears, and I'll do it to this pagan Philistine too, for he has defied the armies of the living God. The Lord who rescued me from the claws of the lion and the bear will rescue me from this Philistine. Saul finally consented. All right, go ahead, he said, and may the Lord be with you. Then Saul gave David his own armor, a bronze helmet and a coat of mail. David put it on, strapped the sword over it, and took a step or two to see what it was like, for he had never worn such things before. I can't go in these, he protested to Saul. I'm not used to them. So David took them off again. He picked up 5 smooth stones and a stream and put them in his shepherd's bag. Then armed only with his shepherd's staff and sling, he started across the valley to fight the Philistine. Yeah, he only had his shepherd's staff and sling. So that's they always had their staff. That's funny. Moses has his staff. Everybody has a staff. Like, that's the people from Israel, the prophets. They always have their shepherd's staff. That's funny. I noticed that. Okay, so let me see. Okay, so this is okay. I got it. Okay, he only had with his shepherd's staff, and sling. He started across a valley to fight the Philistine. Okay. Goliath walked out toward David with his shield bearer ahead of him, sneering in contempt at this ruddy-faced boy. Am I a dog? He roared at David, that you come at me with a stick? And he cursed David by the names of his gods. Come over here, and I'll give your flesh to the birds and wild animals, Goliath yelled. David replied to the Philistine, you come to me with a sword, spear, and javelin, but I come to you in the name of the name of the Lord of heaven's armies, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied. Today the Lord will conquer you, and I will kill you, and cut your head off, and cut off your head, and then I will give the dead bodies of your men to the birds and wild animals, and the whole world will know that there is a God in Israel. And everyone assembled here will know that the Lord rescues his people, but not with sword. Okay, this sounds good. Let me see here. So I'm at okay, so here you go. I found it. So David told Goliath, you come to me with sword, spear, and javelin, but I come to you in the name of the Lord of heaven's armies. Okay, let me see. God of the armies whom you have defied. David faced Goliath in the power of the Lord, armed with nothing but a sling and a few smooth stones. And he illustrated for us three principles of giant killing. First, David acted on faith and took risks. Took risks. Second, let me see. Maybe okay. The spear. This is the Lord's battle, and He will give you to us. As Goliath moved closer to attack, David quickly ran out to meet him. Reaching into his shepherd's bag and taking out a stone, he hurled it with his sling and hit the Philistine in the forehead. The stone sank in, and Goliath stumbled and fell face down on the ground. So David triumphed over the Philistine with only a sling and a stone, for he had no sword. Then David ran over and pulled Goliath's sword from his sheath. David used it to kill him and cut off his head. So that's let me see. So that's the part where he he killed Goliath, and he didn't have anything. He just had some stones and a sling, and he took care. He didn't even have a sword. That was it. And he had God though. That was the main thing. Gotta have God. Gotta have the Father in your life. So let me see. Okay. So that was First Samuel chapter 17. Okay. So you just got to really focus on putting God first, putting the Father first. Everybody have a blessed blessed New Year's. I'm gonna have I want to have a great New Year's, because I'm gonna put it in the Father's hands. So that's my New Year's is in His hands. That's real. My life is in His hands. So I pray about everything. You got to pray about everything, and let them make their choices. Let them do everything. And that's where you want your life to be in God's hands, the Father's hands. So, but this was Nelson with Roche with Follow Me Ministries, and this was David and Goliath. It was First Samuel. I think it was chapter 17. So read along with me. Read it, and read the Bible. Read it. Read the whole Bible. Start from Genesis all the way to Revelation. Read it all. You need to. It helps you. It helps you keep the word. Gets the word in your spirit, in your soul. So that's what that's what when you go fasting too. That's you're supposed to read the word too while you're fasting. You're supposed to do when you fast, you're not supposed to have any food. Okay, you can have water. Jesus fasted, Moses fasted. Everybody fasts. You're supposed to fast to get closer to God. It's supposed to help you get closer to God. A lot of benefits for fasting. So it helps also with. So they had problems when they had problems with the demons. They had problems with the demons coming out of somebody, and Jesus was like, yeah, you gotta do it. It only comes out by prayer and fasting. So you need to fast for that too. Fasting is a very, very important thing. It's part of our belief and everything. So it's in the Bible. If it says in the Bible, in the Word, it's true. And like I said, God created everything with the Word. He created everything with the Word, Hebrew, and we still have Hebrew now. Even these Bibles, you can get in Hebrew. You can listen to Hebrew words. It's still around. The word, the language. So it was in my island, in the caves. It was in the caves in my island. They have Hebrew words. So that they didn't lose that. Yeah, it's still in my words. It's still in my words in Puerto Rican. Our language, Puerto Rican language, our Spanish. It's Hebrew. People think it's Spanish, but it's Hebrew. And I know Hebrew. I learned. I was trying to learn Hebrew too. But like I said, Arawak Indian, Arawak is a Hebrew word. So people probably don't understand that. But the Arawak is a type of Indian. So that's the type of Indian I am. So I learned that's Hebrew. But everybody have a great New Year's. Today's the January 1st, 2024, January 1st. So that's why I wanted to make this video, and then also to make the David and Goliath video for everybody, my subscribers, and just like I said, be safe, and do what you got to do. Have a great New Year's. And be safe. Keep your fingers, like I said, no explosions. Keep all your fingers. Stay away from those firecrackers. Accidents happen like that too. I think maybe I had an accident like that, maybe. But accidents happen. But be safe. All right. Thank you, everybody. God bless, and thank you for coming to Follow Me Ministries, and have a blessed day. And I'll see you again.